Hello everyone, Dr. Kim Redman here. I want to thank you guys for joining in right up front and for all the energy and the love that we've had during this time period. One of the things that's driving these Facebook Lives is the number of private messages and direct messages and texts and emails that we're getting around a bunch of these topics. So for today, what I wanted to do was I wanted to just speak to 3 secrets of working through a world crisis that are really about crisis management models. And then 3 of the main things to do if you're going to be working at home. Oh, Valerie, you're very, very welcome for this. So if you have questions as this is going on, feel free and put them down. So first of all, I wanted to just speak about crisis management. And I'm going to scooch over here so the lighting is easier on your eyes. The first thing that happens in the first stage of crisis management are people are going to hoard resources. And that, in terms of hoarding resources and being out of control, is where we had the whole toilet paper silliness coming from. So first of all, when people are hoarding resources, that means for us as entrepreneurs or people that are now working virtually, our job is to give. Right now, people can't really think straight during this time period because anxiety and fear and chaos actually impact our ability to process information. So during this time period, there's a lot of processing emotionally, not in terms of facts. And knowing that our job is to just get resources to people. On entrepreneurs, I am going to tell you, or anyone that is now working from home, I'm going to tell you what you're seeking right now is you are seeking imperfect action. I'm doing an entire mastermind on this with my own group tomorrow from 1 to 4. How to get into imperfect action as a leader. So the first stage is going to be that people are very much hoarding resources and our job is to give. The second thing that is so important during crisis management is connectivity. So for yourself, for your well-being, stay plugged in. Stay plugged into the people and the things that support you. This is how we can use technology to actually get into greater intimacy for us. And of course, you guys are all experiencing this. So here you have, the place of the downloads and gratitudes. I'm going to suggest that for all of you guys. Please, the gravity. So during this place of the conservation and the hoarding, one of the things to recognize is we need brevity. So the first thing that we're going to do while we're giving out our resources is to be brief with people. You'll notice that our Facebook Lives are about 15 minutes max right now, and that's important. So if before you would have gone super in depth into a topic, it's better right now to break that into smaller pieces, and in NLP language, you want to keep that in higher chunks, because when the nervous system is stressed, it can process less numbers of spinning plates and less depth of each topic too. So keep it nice and brief for people. Immediacy, as I said, it's connect, connect, connect. And the last thing that you want to do is you need to think out of the box. You really want to think out of the box. This is a great opportunity to think out of the box. And in entrepreneurial language, we call that innovation. So this is a time to get creative, to innovate, to reach out for people. And so now people are at home, and many people haven't worked at home before. And we've been doing this for over a decade now, working back and forth between live teams and virtual teams, seeing people live and seeing people virtually. So I'm going to give you 3 tips for successful working at home. The first is set a schedule. The good news is your new office is 12 feet from your bedroom. The bad news is your new office is 12 feet from the bedroom, or may even be in the bedroom. I prefer the kitchen table over the bedroom, but you know, here you go. So setting a schedule and sticking to that schedule is super, super helpful. The schedule itself starts to act like rails that just keep the train on the tracks. The second thing that I'm going to tell you during crisis working at home is expect to do less. How many of you are out there and you're tired? You're more tired than you think you should be, even though you're sleeping. And you're setting up this crazy intense schedule, and yet you walk in and go, meh, not really in the mood to do this now. And there's a reason for that. Our nervous systems are asking us to come out of that sympathetic nervous system. It's asking us to nap more, meditate more, do less. And therefore, you're going to need to book twice as much time in order to get where you're going. Just saying, block smaller amounts of time for yourself. You will be more effective working 45 minutes to 90 minutes and taking a break than you ever could be working 3 hours in one block, especially now. So set a schedule, allocate more time while you're taking more breaks. And one of the things that sounds so simple, speaking of going to your office, is do you have one? And if you don't have an office space in your house, it's important that you clear out a nook. It can just be a nook. It doesn't have to be a room. However, what it is it's a dedicated space. So what you're saying to yourself, to your conscious mind, to your unconscious mind, and to your higher self is, when I enter that space, this is my focus. And just like we're telling the kids, schoolwork, then play, the same for us. While we're here, we're here. So that means setting up ahead of time. If you're going to go in for a call for an hour, who's got the kids? Who's taking the dog out? Who's making lunches? And who's on the front line outside of there? And if you happen to have more than one adult in the household, this can allow for a flow, because on your break from being in your office, you can be out there coloring with the kids, or maybe doing something physical with them, which is a great break for you too. So I'm going to say to you again, the secrets are brevity, which means we're chunking it up, less time. 2, connect. We're going to be talking about a lot more of resourcing. How do you stay connected into resources, and how are you providing resources for others? Very, very, very important. And 3, thinking outside the box. The tips for working at home are 3 tips. Have a dedicated space. 2, keep a schedule. please keep a schedule. And 3, allocate more time than you think you need to your projects right now. So I'm going to wrap up with a last gift. And I'd like to speak to all of our perfectionists out there. For those of you who are master practitioner trained and understand value level platforms, those of you who have higher thinking on a lower value level platform, and I don't mean lower as in bad, just it's a numerical assessment. It's not a judgment. And for those of you who are value level platform trained, please appreciate we all just dropped value level platforms during this time period. And that's so for another Facebook Live. So that for now, perfectionists, your best in the now is perfect. When we're working in a time of crisis, what's required is action, imperfect action. It's a really, really precise phrase, imperfect action. Normally, we all work in this process place. However, right now, it's very much an action place. And there are great gifts and there are great opportunities in that, especially when you're doing it from the heart. So keep breathing, stay in your boundary space. Feel free to look at our other Facebook Lives. By the way, we've been asked by a lot of people, how do we share these if people are not on Facebook Live or are not on LinkedIn? So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be moving these onto YouTube's with links and e-blasting. So for anybody who would like this information, please give us a first name, a last name, an email, a phone number. Again, in the PM, please give me a first name, a last name that you would like, an email and phone number.
It's 1:30.
1:30 says my iMac, and we will send these out to you so that you can share them with anyone who needs these resources. So for all of you who are at home, who are staying safe, thank you. For those of you who are watching this after being on the front lines, thank you too for keeping us all up and moving and functioning. So be well, everyone. Sending love and light. Goodbye for today. And I'll speak to you guys soon. Blessed be.